Okay, so this will be the final German level of the Central Powers portion of the game. So this is the Battle of Moscow. So obviously this will follow the nuking of Petrograd. And I remember in the last book, it says even after Petrograd is destroyed, the German army continues to advance. So I figured, why not just do a level based on the Germans continuing their advance and pushing in towards Moscow. There is an in-map version in the OG game where, the Germans advance in and have to take Moscow. Ironically, too, they also have a Japanese team in the OG that also is trying to take Moscow. So that one was it's a pretty interesting OG level in the game. Basic, but it's a 1-on-2 match. You have you as the Germans, fight off against, you play off against two Russian teams that are still trying, two Russian teams. I'm thinking about maybe bringing it down to one. But I mean, at the same time, I still think that the Russians, even though they lose Petrograd, it doesn't really say anything about their military really being destroyed. I mean, even after, because there'll be a level before this, which is the Battle of Kiev, which is pretty much, it's it's like a big German victory. And then after Kiev, I know in the book it talks about how the German army starts advancing towards Petrograd, but then stops so they can nuke it. So I'm not sure what I want to do as far as that. Moscow does have static defenses that help defend the city. So you kind of gotta fight your way into that. I mean, outside of that, again, pretty straightforward, pretty easy map to kind of dictate. And I mean, kind of going back to what I was talking about in the Chattanooga one, it looks like they broke up a lot of the developers for this level. Obviously, broke up a lot of what is considered dead space with forest and farm areas. So maybe that's what I will do on the Chattanooga level, is I will just break up all the other stuff with just, farm fields and forest to kind of help it out, kind of break up the monotony of it. But so, like I said, pretty straightforward because I'm using the in-game Battle of Moscow map, so there's not much to change outside of, the unit restrictions, which, we had talked about before, that pretty much the Russians are going to get all the standard infantry units, minus, anti-tank, because I don't foresee them having developed that technology. And then they'll have armor car units and then light tanks. And then the Germans have free reign with everything that they can get as far as the game, minus SS units, since the SS is not a thing in this universe. So the Germans will be able to, build the heavy tanks. I think I even have it that they can build Tiger tanks. Let me see here. Let's go into my my unit restrictions quick. So for the Germans, let's see here. I don't really see them having built anti-tank. Again, it's kind of hard to kind of play around with because you don't hear much about the war in Europe. So I did take out King Tiger tanks, but they are able to build their heavy tanks. I believe the heavy tanks in this game are the Mark IVs, the Panzer Mark IVs. So, and then also, I mean, kind of starting the map out, the Germans start off with 3 infantry regiments. The Russians start off with, one Russian team starts off with some conscripts. I believe the other one also starts off with conscripts up here at this northern city. Yeah, I mean, in the game they don't do it, but also in the game I have thought about continuing the road network that the kind of road network they were building here to cross this river into this town to kind of give the Germans another avenue of approach to come and hit Moscow from the rear instead of basically forcing the Germans to, come down here, defeat this wing of the Russian army, and then turn back around, and then can only attack Moscow from the front. I don't know. I guess I'd ask, what do you think of that idea? Just giving the Germans another avenue of approach to outflank, to, quasi outflank Moscow from the rear. So yeah, pretty straightforward. What do you think of that idea as far as giving the Germans the ability to come around? And should the Germans start off with another? Would this be an accurate representation, or should I actually have the Germans also have some mech units at the very beginning? Maybe take away one or two of these infantry regiments, and maybe throw in like a mechanized armor regiment, or hell, even throw in like a Panzer III regiment, or maybe even a Panzer IV regiment. Yeah, just got any ideas? Let me know.